Hello and welcome to Verbling. I am teacher Oakley, and in today's class, actually in a succession of classes for the next 3 hours, we are going to be looking at the IELTS speaking exam. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 parts of the exam, 3 hours. Figure it out. All right. First class, we're going to be looking at part 1 questions, part 2, then part 3. And lots of practice. I will kind of try to demonstrate to you what good answers good answers should look like, and then we'll have at it, and everyone will have a chance to practice. I'll give you feedback, try to make a relative score assessment, which, by the way, just disclaimer, trying to score 1 question is not really how it's scored, but I'll do my best. You're basically the scoring is done section by section, and the whole point. Well, let me welcome a couple students, and then I'll sort of get to some generalities, and we'll start practicing. Hello. I have no idea how to say your names. Sao, so, si, cow, cool, I'm sorry. Cow. Okay. Hi.
Or Claudia. My name is Claudia.
Oh, Claudia. All right. All right. Your nickname is Cow?
Yeah, my nickname is Cow.
All right. Where are you from?
From Brazil.
Brazil. All right. Well, welcome to the class, Cow. Do you have plans to take the IELTS exam in the future?
I take IELTS next Wednesday.
Oh! All right, buckle up, Cal. Here we go. Okay, very good. You're in the right place. Hello, Seth.
Hello, teacher.
Hey, how you doing today? Good to see you.
Fine, thank you, teacher.
All right. Nice to see you. Okay, Anna Christina. Hello, hello. Hi, Anna.
Hello, how are you, Oakley?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you today?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Oakley. You?
Very nice. I'm doing okay. Okay, I'd also like to welcome Jorge. What's up? What's up, George?
Hey, how are you today?
I'm doing okay. Welcome to the class. Also, Paulo. Paulo has joined us. Hello, Paulo.
Hello, okay. Nice to see you again. Thank you.
Nice to see you as always. Welcome. And Thomas. Hello, Thomas. Mic check, mic check. Thomas, come in, Thomas.
Good, hello, teacher. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Thomas, how are you doing?
Pretty good, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Okay, great. Good to have you here. And Gustavo. Hello, Gustavo.
Hi, hello. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Welcome to the class.
Thank you so much, teacher.
And okay, Wellington has joined us.
Yes.
Hi, Wellington. Hey.
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. Getting ready for this big time IELTS blitz here. We got to work with you guys and get you guys some good practice in, and hopefully give you some good points. Okay, Lisa has joined us, and I think we now have a full boat. Let us cast adrift into the open ocean of the IELTS exam. Hello, Elisa.
Hello.
Okay, let's go. Okay, here's the thing. Let me just introduce the IELTS exam. The next 3 hours we're going to be practicing. This exam takes 13 minutes overall, give or take. Anyway, roughly 13 minutes, 3 sections. The first section is like a conversation with you and the interviewer. You're speaking to a live interviewer. as opposed to a TOEFL exam where you're recorded on a computer. You're talking to a human being. He will have a recording device. He will be recording you. There are 3 sections. The first section is a conversation of personal preferences, your likes and dislikes, and the topics are basically things that you're all of us are familiar with. Music, daily routine, hobbies, things we all know about. Part 2 is basically a long turn. We'll be practicing on that. Next hour, you need to speak for 2 minutes, and it's description, describing people, places, things, situations more often than not. Part 3, you should speak longer because basically the questions are all opinion questions. All right, first of all, part 1. Now, okay, the basic idea here is one basic premise. In the IELTS exam, you cannot talk too much. It's not possible because the interviewer will cut you off. He'll say thank you very much and he'll go on to the next question. This does not mean you're doing badly. This, frankly, it means you're probably doing well. You however, definitely can speak too little. Most certainly you will lose a lot of points by speaking too little. The interviewer, all right, looking at it from the perspective of the interviewer, the questions, no one cares about your answer. The questions, the point of the questions is that the interviewer will be asking you questions to discern whether you can speak in the past tense, whether you can make a comparison, whether you can speak with a modal like would, could, might. The questions are devised to allow you the opportunity to do a variety of things in English and show your the broadness of your English skills. No one gives a hoot about your answer. If they ask you for what is the most exciting experience in your life, and you talk about watching the paint dry on the wall of your grandmother's house, yes, that may be the most boring thing in the world, but it really doesn't matter. Nobody cares. It's not the point at all. So don't worry about being funny or fascinating or sounding intelligent. It's really not the point. The point, as much as possible, is to sound as much as possible like a native speaker using a variety of English-speaking skills. That's it. So, while there's a little bit of a paradox here, okay? You need to sound natural, but on the other hand, it's really not natural. It's an exam. And nobody, when they're talking in a conversation with their cousin they haven't seen in 6 months, nobody tries to, let me see, I'll try to use past, present, future, a perfect tense, I'll use a conditional sentence and a relative clause. Nobody does that in real life. That's insane. You'd have to be nuts. But that's basically what you're trying to do in this exam. All right. Let's see what we're talking about. Now, oh yeah, okay. Because of that, some students try to study the topics. There are some 400 or 500 topics, which would be basically insane to try to study because they also add new topics in 3-month intervals. They add a whole bunch of new topics. So it's not really possible to prepare for every topic that they're going to broach with you because they're going to add new ones anyway. So you can't, there's no way to know what those new topics will be. So what I will be doing today as we're practicing, which we're going to get to now, as we're practicing, I am going to attempt to ask you the different types of questions which are asked on the exam. Because basically, although they do things with the sentence structure and language to make the questions seem different, really there's only a few 9 or 10 basic types of questions in part 1. Part 2 is they're all the same, and part 3 there's maybe half a dozen types of questions. So that's what we'll be doing today. I'll be, as we go around and I ask students questions, I'll be trying to hit all the different types of questions that you may hear on the exam. I will do my best, and of course I will give you feedback. The only questions, speaking of topics, the only questions you know that you are going to get and which you should practice are these. Well, let's start. Cal, are you ready? Are you ready to rumble?
Yeah.
Okay. The first question that they're going to ask you in the part 1, they will ask you 2 questions in the beginning, and they will always ask these same 2 questions. For the remainder of the exam, you have no idea what the topics are going to be. But, Cal, first question is, hello, Cal. Where are you from? Ta-da.
I'm from Brazil.
Okay. All right. Or it may be where there may be variations. Where are you from? Tell me about your city. Tell me about your hometown. So, Cal, tell me about your hometown.
Sorry, the sound's not good.
What's that?
The sound is not good for me.
Okay.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. Where? Tell me about your hometown.
I don't like very much my hometown, but because I don't know, I lived in many other cities in Brazil, and Porto Alegre, the city I now is very difficult to make your friends, and I don't know why the people are cold. Because I don't know if it's because the weather. I don't know why, but I don't like here.
Okay. Okay. Feedback time. Okay, look, the main problem with your response is the fluency. There are 4 areas of scoring. Number 1, fluency and cohesion. That has to do with how you speak, and your organization as you speak. First of all, okay, one reason is, the other reason I don't like it, okay, you should be using these kinds of structures. For example, if I try to talk to somebody at Starbucks, they don't say a word to me, they just walk away. Give examples, use signal phrases to signal what you're about to say. This will help your fluency and cohesion. Also, when I give you feedback, I will be referring to these 4 scoring areas: fluency and cohesion, vocabulary, grammar or sentence structure, and pronunciation, which includes syllable stress and intonation. Cal, your biggest problem is in fluency and cohesion. I want to, after I'm going to present something to you, I want to share something with you guys. After that, we'll really just practice, but I want to share something with you so we get the idea. Okay, tell me about your hometown. This is a typical example which I frequently hear. I come from Beijing. I'm a native of the city. Beijing is the capital of China. In Beijing, there are many historical buildings. Beijing duck is very famous. I always eat it with my friends. What is wrong with this answer? Cow? Can you pick something? Can you pick something out that is possibly wrong with this answer?
Mm,
No?
no.
Okay. Well, you're in the right place today because, okay, you have
Yeah, I
things to
know.
learn about this. Okay, Seth, what's wrong with this answer?
Hi, teacher.
Hi. Can you make a suggestion what it would be wrong with this response?
I think scum.
Sorry?
Sorry, it's not the field.
Seth?
Yes?
Yeah, do you see anything wrong with this particular answer we're looking at?
Um, mm,
Uh-huh.
okay, in the paragraph, maybe the correct is I am from Beijing.
Yeah.
And
Nope, that's okay. That's not it.
okay.
All right, I'm going to... Anna Christina, what do you think is wrong with this response?
I don't know, Oakley.
Don't know? All right, Jorge.
I think he is not answering the question because the question is where is he from? But he's talking about to eat with friends, and it is giving additional information. He's not putting the focus or giving summary answers. I think so. I think that.
Hi, Jorge. Okay, so what is your idea? Sorry, I lost connection for 2 seconds or something.
He is giving additional information. He is not putting the focus on giving summary information or putting focus on answer the specific issue in the question.
Actually, no, that is not the problem. Actually, that is okay. You can give tons of detail. Actually, in this question about where you're from or your city, you can talk about the population, what people do for a living, the buildings, the geographical location, how many rivers. There is almost an infinite amount of information that you can use to answer this question. That is not the problem, actually. Alo, are you still here? No. Thomas, are you still here? Yeah, Thomas, what do you think is wrong with this answer?
Well, I don't know. I've been reading it, and I think that the sentence it is okay, but maybe in the beginning, the person says, "I come from Beijing," and I think that maybe this could be, I am from Beijing."
Yeah, that's really not a problem. Actually, I come from United States. This is actually good because this is a more natural and colloquial way of speaking English. Actually, native speakers speak this way. So actually, that's not a problem at all.
So
Nope.
the problem, this is not the structure of the sentence. What
Nope.
would be the point of the take?
Okay. Okay. I want to see if anybody has any clue what might be wrong with this. So I'm going to continue around. Don't worry about it if you don't know. That's why you're here. We're going to learn in
Okay.
moments. Okay, no problem. Gustavo, do you have any ideas?
Excuse me, teacher. I didn't hear you really good. Can you repeat the sentences?
Sure. What is the example that I'm screen sharing right now? What is the problem with this answer? I come from Beijing. I'm a native of the city, so on. You know what? Can you see any problems with it? If you can't, just tell me and we'll continue.
Okay, okay. I see. I come from Beijing. The Secretary of China. Teacher. Can
No
you give
idea?
me a minute, please? No, no.
No, I can't. No, I actually no, I can't. We have a lot to cover here. So
Okay.
no, I want to see if anybody has the idea of what's wrong with this. Wellington, what are you saying there?
They are asking about the city, not about the friends.
It's okay. That's okay.
And
That's
who is
not a
Benjin
problem.
Duck?
Sorry?
Who is Benjin Duck?
It's a famous dish. Peking duck, you may have heard. Beijing duck, whatever. It's like saying paella. Paella. I don't know. It's just a famous dish.
Okay.
Again, that's fine. Specific details are actually, that's the one good thing this person is doing. That's the only thing this person's doing right.
They are sorry. Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Elisa, do you have any ideas? Gustavo, I'm sorry. Did you?
Beijing's dot is not possessive.
No, that's not it. Lisa, do you have any ideas?
No, I don't have.
Okay, here we go. All right.
Teacher,
Yes.
maybe the last sentences doesn't make sense. It's a different topic. It's about friends.
That's fine. That's fine. That is the only thing. You guys are all picking out the one thing this person's doing right. The problem with this response is that it answers the question. That's not the point. That's what I said in the beginning of class. It answers the question, but it doesn't offer the examiner evidence that you know how to describe something in detail. Precise information. That is the only thing this person is doing right. They offer a couple detailed information. What is wrong? The answer is too short. The answer is direct. Not good. This is not what IELTS is looking for. It does not contain any linking words or phrases. Things like, first of all, I would have to say one thing about my city is that words like that does not contain redundant language. To tell you the truth, honestly, to tell you the truth, my city's very popular, very populated. There is about 3 million people. There's so many people that there's huge traffic jams. Okay, repeating the information in a different way. You should be doing this. IELTS wants you to do this because native speakers do this. There's no uncommon vocabulary. There's no uncommon vocabulary or idiomatic language, phrasal verbs. These are good in the IELTS exams. There's no examples of that. The grammar is correct, but the person is using only one verb tense throughout the response. They are using all simple sentences. Okay? They're not doing anything fancy at all. Here is the deal, ladies and gentlemen, with the IELTS exam. This is a basic premise which you must understand. If you speak perfectly simple sentences, you can speak absolutely perfect in English. Being cautious to use simple sentences and use very basic vocabulary that you know. If you do that, you will not score over a 5 out of 9. You will not. That's it. You can be the perfect English speaker and get a 5 on this exam because you're not doing any of these kind of risky, more advanced, high-level English. You're not showing any of these skills. If you try to use relative clauses, conditional sentences, an idiom or two, longer sentences that have subordinators, coordinating conjunctions. If you repeat yourself but in a different way, not exactly word for word repeat yourself, that's bad. If you do these things and you mess it up, you completely screw it up, you will get a 6 on the exam. Are you hearing me? I hope you're hearing me. You can speak perfectly but very basically and get a 5. You can speak so you can barely be understood because you're trying to do things and you get a 6. You have to understand that. There is no safety. This is the biggest point that is different from the TOEFL exam. The TOEFL exam would like you to speak in a format, really doesn't encourage taking chances. IELTS is all about taking chances with your language. You get a 7 when you get most of it or a good deal of it, over 50% correct. You get an 8 when you're pretty much all correct. This is the basic idea. So let me share a good response. Okay, consider this answer, and I will read it knowing that you have to also show intonation. Well, as you can probably guess, I come from Beijing, and I've lived here all my life. Although at the moment I'm studying in another city, Tianjin. I suppose if I had to describe Beijing, the first thing I would say is that it's absolutely enormous, maybe even one of the biggest cities in Asia, I guess. It's so big, in fact, that even the locals have problems finding their way around. Another significant characteristic is that it offers examples of both classical and contemporary architecture. Actually, some of China's most renowned landmarks are slap bang in the middle of Beijing. Okay, notice the preponderance of opening signal words and signal phrases. As you can probably guess, I suppose if I had to describe, the first thing I would say, maybe even, it's so big, in fact, another characteristic, actually, everything this person says is preceded by some sort of signal phrase or connective. All right. Now, this is overdoing it slightly. This is an example. You don't have to do every single sentence with a signal phrase, but you should make a lot of them. Probably 50% of your sentences need to have that. It's really key. And I'll tell you why. It's key for several reasons, because it affects all areas of scoring. Obviously, it will affect cohesiveness and cohesion, because that's your organization in the scoring category 1. If you know a wide variety of these cohesive devices, these signal phrases or transitions, that showing a wide range of vocabulary. When you use these things, you will notice, as a direct result, you are forcing yourself to make compound sentences and complex sentences. Complex sentences primarily, but compound complex sentences as well. You don't have to think about making them, you do it automatically because you're thinking about using subordinating phrases and clauses. So it directly affects your grammar. Also, another significant characteristic, actually some of China's most, when you use these structures, it forces you to use an intonation, a highlighting and a more engaging rhythm and intonation in your delivery and your pronunciation. It affects everything. There you have it. Okay, that first response, by the way, was maybe a 4 or a 5. If you want a 4 or a 5, and you answer the way the first one was, If you want a much better score, you answer like much more like this. It is long, but it doesn't go way off topic. Redundant language, tons of linking phrases, one idiom, slap bang in the middle of Beijing. Some more uncommon vocabulary. The vocabulary that is used is topic specific. It's related to the question. Obviously more complicated sentences, and he uses a couple different tenses, present and past. I think there's a perfect tense in there. Okay, this would be the second response I shared with you is a 7+, the up to a 9. The material is correct. It all depends, of course, on pronunciation and like that, which we don't know the pronunciation from reading it. So, okay, there you go. If you said it correctly, that would be a perfect answer. All right, so there you go. That's the idea. Now we will continue with practice. Okay, any questions about that? What I just presented to you? Because basically, in a nutshell, that's the IELTS. It's not about just answering the question. It's about rattling on. Blah, 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 blah. You might want to go to Starbucks and have a grande coffee with plenty of caffeine before you go to your IELTS exam. Blah, 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 blah. So you can talk a lot. Okay. All right. That is the first question, and that will always be the first question. Where are you from? Or tell me about your hometown. Tell me about your city. So practice that one. The next question, Seth. Seth, do you
Yes.
work or do you study?
I work. Yes, I work. Go ahead.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Be more specific.
Yep. Even questions that seem, and they will. They will most certainly ask you closed-ended questions like that. Do you do this or do you do that? They will ask you questions like yes or no questions.
No. May I interrupt?
Sure.
That is, you lost your role because the first question you asked were more serious. How is the name of the classmate? So, well, the girl that answered the first question, you asked more seriously, where are you from? And now you ask more informally. Maybe
They will do that.
The classmate didn't understand that he has to answer the question, yeah?
Yeah, this is the IELTS question, Seth. So the first question they're going to ask you is about where you're from. The second question, they will ask you this. They will ask everyone. Do you work or do you study? Do not just say, oh, I work. No. I work, and then describe it. You have to consider this to be a description question, which is the basic one. First type of question they ask in part 1 is basic description, which is the first question. And even the second question, when they ask, do you work or do you study? Really, they want you to describe what you do or what you're studying. That's the idea. So they're not going to say, tell me a little bit about your work. They may, if you do that, if you answer like Seth, the interviewer may ask you for more detail. But don't make them ask you. Here's the thing. They will ask you questions, and then if you give answers like that, then they're going to ask you why. So you might as well say why or what. You might as well, because they're going to ask you anyway, and you're going to lose points if you don't volunteer it. All right. Seth, try it again. Do you work or do you study?
I am work. I am a system engineer. I am. I work developing systems in a company for government.
Okay. All right. Again, ideally, you would talk until I said, okay, please stop talking. Because you've got to give details. Here's a basic strategy for you. Try to always answer each and every IELTS question with two aspects or two details, two main reasons or two main points, and give a point and then give some detail behind it. Give a point and then give some detail. All right, so, all right, talking about your job. Okay, I'm a teacher. I work online. One thing I really love about teaching online is I can make my own hours. That means I have plenty of time to hang out with my two daughters. Another aspect of teaching online that I really enjoy is the fact that I get to meet people from all over the whole world. I've always been interested in meeting people from different cultures, and my job allows me that opportunity. In fact, forces that opportunity on me, whether I want to do it or not, as a matter of fact. Okay, two aspects, and talk about it. That is a good answer. Okay, and notice I said, first of all, another thing. Okay, that's what you're trying to do. Give an example, repeated information, that's it. Okay, that's the description type question. Anna, Christina, I'm going to give you a different, we're going to move on. Different type of question, like and dislike questions are also common in part one. Anna, Christina, do you like shopping?
Yes, I do.
Cricket, cricket, cricket. Chirp, 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 chirp.
Yes, I do. I like shopping. I like to buy clothes, shoes. I love shopping.
Okay. Again, consider this question. Do you like shopping? Now, if you want to speak with as much detail as possible, it really helps you to force yourself to speak more if you break the question into two parts. If it were me, Anna Christina, I don't like shopping, but, well, you know, one strategy is to say it depends. You see, I love food shopping. I used to be a chef. I love food. I love preparing food. I love purchasing food. I especially love eating food. So I really enjoy shopping, for example, going to the farmer's market and choosing fresh vegetables and fruit that were on the tree or on the vine, you know, earlier that morning. On the other hand, I hate clothes shopping. I absolutely abhor it. I can't stand it. I basically would rather dig a hole, lie down in it, and fill myself in. Forget it. Okay. See what I'm doing? I'm breaking the question into two different aspects, and then I'm giving I'm speaking 3 or 4 sentences about each of those aspects. Okay? Am I going off topic? Okay, I love food, and I talk about how much I love food. No, because then I bring it back to shopping. So I like to go to the farmer's market, like that. All right? This is the idea. We've got to get into the groove of giving a lot of information and get the whole strategy of trying to break it down. The other thing with the like questions, make sure that you know a lot of ways to say like. I like, I love, I abhor, I adore, I'm fond of, I'm keen on, I enjoy, I'm a big fan of, I especially like, my favorite is, have lots of different ways to say it, because they may ask you at least a couple different questions about like. The opposite is dislike. Jorge. Okay. All right. Is there any kind of food that you don't like?
Sure. I don't like vegetable. I really get boring soon when I am eating that. I know that is good for the body, for the health, but you know, I am a bad boy and really enjoy to eat junk food and fast food, hot dogs, hamburgers, and this kind of stuff. I know it is not a good deal, but I really enjoy that. And I think this is my answer.
Okay, I think it is. Yeah, well, don't say that last part, but okay. All right. Great. But again, I always try to think of two things. Talk about vegetables, and then see, while you're talking, brainstorm. I also really hate liver. Okay? You want to have at least two things to talk about so that you can, again, these transitionals or signal phrases are really important. For example, or hey, when you say hot dogs, hamburger, I really like junk food, hot dogs, hamburgers, you missed the opportunity to say, for example, or such as hot dogs, hamburgers, etc. Perfectly. If you're going to give examples, you need to say, for example, or such as. You need to basically introduce each of your points. Really, really need to try to break it into two. That's a very strong recommendation for you, so that you have, if that's your brainstorming focus when you first hear the question, you force yourself to talk twice as much. And the more you talk, the better your score is. It's very basic formula. If you're a very talkative person and you talk a lot, you may become slightly frustrated because the examiner will say, okay, let's move on. Okay, let's move on. That's not a bad thing. It probably means you're doing very well on the exam. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. The other thing, again, just like have a lot of ways to say dislike. Negatives, I don't like. I hate. I really can't stand. I abhor. Okay. Saying I really can't stand. Now, okay, you're showing vocabulary, a different way of saying it, related to the topic. It's I can't stand is both. It's idiomatic. Just doing some simple things like that. Simple collocations, phrasal verbs. That is like I can't stand something. That is like 3 check marks in the good box. Okay, this is a very good way to answer. Okay, make sure that's a yes or no question. Do you like, or is there something you dislike? Do you dislike something? It's a yes or no question. They will be answering you yes or no questions. However, you need to respond at length. Even don't be fooled. They are not really looking for an answer. You have to remember that. They don't care about an answer. They care about hearing you speak. You can speak crazy stuff. You can speak annoying stuff. It doesn't matter what you speak. That's not the point. Another thing is, in the question, for example, are there any foods you dislike? If they use dislike, you use a different word. You want to paraphrase the question. And it's a very good idea to start out by saying, well, there are a couple types of food that I just can't stand. There are a few dishes I really abhor. So you're paraphrasing the question using different words, synonyms. or synonymous phrases, which is good. Another factor, another thing they're scoring is your ability to paraphrase the question, repeat the question back. Okay, let's move on. Who's next? Thomas, still here? Yes, you are. Okay, Thomas.
Yes, teacher, I'm here.
Pardon me. Excuse me.
Okay.
The next type of question you might hear on in part one are types of questions. For example, Thomas, here's your IELTS question. Tell me about the different types of public transportation in your city.
Well, there are so many types of public transportation. For example, in the case of the bus, there's so many routes of buses all over the city. There are some lines that start from the north of the city, and they're going to the south. There's some another lines that go through the west to the east, and vice versa. They go back from the east to the west. There's the subway. By the way, some days ago, it happened an accident some days ago in the subway, but it's very interesting, and it is cheap. There's so many people that use this kind of transportation, millions of people every day, but it is very cheap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Thomas. Let's have a round of applause for Thomas. That's the idea. There we go, buddy. Okay.
Thank you.
That's the idea. Even if the information is trivial, north to south, east to west, blah, 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 he's using directions. He's saying the lines, the bus lines. This is very, very much related vocabulary. Okay, and he talked about the buses, then he started talking about the subways. He gave me two distinct aspects or points. Okay, that's how it done. That answer was definitely minimum a 6, but likely a 7. That's what you want to do. That's how you get a 7 and up. That's it. Very good. By the way, he gave me a couple connectives. You could have, you know, I was very actually interested. You said it happened, there was an accident. You should have, it happened, an accident. You should have said there was an accident, which is great. Giving examples like this give you an opportunity to throw in a new verb tense. But you could have told me about the accident. That would have been cool.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Don't worry that you're going off on a tangent. If you're getting an example of one of your points, you're not going off on a tangent. You're doing what IELTS needs you to do.
Usually, I have so many problems with the connection of the ideas to choose the words, the precise words to connect the ideas.
Well, you did pretty well there. Okay.
Okay.
That was not bad. You got the strategy, and that is key. Just understanding that strategy is easily one band score, 5 to 6, and you give yourself the potential to get 7. Okay? Nice. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you very much, actually.
Thank you, teacher.
All right. All right. Gustavo, are you still here? Yeah, you are. Are you ready to rumble? Okay. Let's see here. All right. We want to look at another type of question, B. I'm going to give you a clue just so you're not lost. They will ask a variety of questions, but basically the same. The interrogative questions with it, you know, who, what, where, when, how often, how much, how, very specific questions that seem like they need a very specific answer. I'm going to give you a strategy before I even ask you the question to practice. When you hear a direct question, a closed-ended question, a question you would normally answer yes or no, or I work, or I go to school, gives you a choice between two things, or a yes/no question. One strategy is to say, well, it depends. It's very useful. Okay, Gustavo, here is your question. Gustavo, how often do you go to the cinema?
Well, it depends. If I go to the internet and see a good movie, I go to the cinema this week. If I don't like the movies that I see, I prefer staying home, see a TV show maybe or something like that.
Okay. All right. So, okay, you've got, by using it depends, Gustavo has now forced himself to talk about two things. You don't have a choice. You force yourself to talk about two things. Okay. He goes to the cinema if he sees a good movie online. If he doesn't, then he'll stay home and watch a movie. There's two aspects. That's it. Don't be afraid to add detail, though. Details can be specific. Don't be afraid to give an example. I went to the cinema. I went to the movies last Friday. I saw a specific movie. It was an action film. Giving examples allows you to use topic-related vocabulary. It was an action film. You know, I bought my popcorn and a soda. Popcorn and soda, this is good. They're related to movies.
Okay.
Don't be shy about giving very specific examples. Absolutely, if you really want a top score, you have to. You don't be shy about doing it. Just do it. That I should be saying. Okay. All right. Let's try another direct kind of yes/no question. Same strategy. Wellington.
Okay.
Okay. Is fast food popular in your country?
Yes, fast food is popular because it's this kind of food is cheaper than the natural food. In many small we find this kind of food, and I think the children, the youngers, they like much more this kind of food because we see a lot of advertisement in the TV, in the scenes. So I sometimes I eat this kind of food one time for a week, maybe. Yeah, but I prefer natural food.
Finally we get there. I was waiting for that. Okay. I was waiting for you. I'm very, two aspects to talk about. It's fast food, like you talked about mostly, but also the fact that other people or yourself, whoever, prefers natural or home-cooked food.
Okay.
Here's another way of attacking a question to think about. Two aspects. Think about the positive and the negative, or whatever is the opposite. What is the opposite of fast food? Probably home-cooked food.
Home-cooked food.
Again, very related. Still related. It's the opposite, so it's still very much related to the topic, fast food. Wellington, once a week.
Okay, once a week.
Instead of one, I forgot what you said. One times a week.
Yeah,
once a week.
One time. Yeah, one time.
Yeah, once a week would be probably better. Okay. Getting the idea, but you presented your kind of second idea right at the end, the last thing. You could have done more with that. Okay, and again, don't be afraid to be specific. Cheeseburger restaurants that serve cheeseburgers like McDonald's and Burger King are quite popular. Lately, I've noticed that in my country there are more and more pizza joints, pizzerias, and the fried chicken places like Kentucky Fried Chicken have been popular for quite some time.
Yeah.
You really, there's no, again, it's not possible to talk too much. That's not possible. It is also not possible to give too much detail. It's not possible. There's no marks off for speaking in completely minute detail. Now, I know you might not do this in real life. You probably wouldn't. But for the IELTS, you really can't go wrong. These are areas where you push it as much detail as you can possibly conceive of. Okay.
Okay.
Elisa has been waiting long and patiently. Elisa?
Yes.
Hello. Here is basically kind of the last type of question you might see in part one. I think I've covered them all with this last question. A would question. Okay, now pay attention when you hear these. Bells should ring, because if you're asking a would question, they're asking hypotheticals, so you use modals or adverbs like probably, maybe, and you're talking in the future. They're looking for you to do very, very specific things if you hear this question. Elisa, would you like to live in a foreign country in the future?
Say that once again. I don't.
Would you ever like to live in a foreign country?
I would like to share my history in this moment. I am from Costa Rica, but in this moment I in New York. I stay with my mom. I visited her 2 months ago. I would like to say it's a good experience for me because it's my first time here. I learn in this moment. I learn English because I don't feel very well because I can express with others person. I don't feel like a real me, and I consider this moment I enjoy because it's like a new opportunity to see different things, and you can see the world in with other perspectives. And I would like to say maybe I appreciate live in other country. If I can make good things, why don't take the risk and maybe move?
Okay, very good. All right. Okay, now, okay, you're trying to do it. Yeah, here, this is a good example. You had some, quite a few small grammatical mistakes, but you were trying to, the reason you're making these mistakes is you were trying to make conditionals, you were trying to speak a hypothetical, you're trying to do things. This is a very good example of how, because you're trying to do things, you would be rewarded with a 6 level instead of a 5 level, basically. Watch your verb tenses, of course. I visit this country, whatever, 2-3 months ago, whatever you said, I visited. Okay. In this moment, we use in this moment. You're probably talking about right now. The second, to be more broad, you should probably use the phrase at this time I am learning English, okay, which is obviously a connective, a signal phrase you're trying to use. Didn't quite have the right one. You said, I don't feel well about speaking English. You can't communicate well, but I feel good. You should use good. You kind of mixed up good and well. You have to remember good is an adjective and well is an adverb. So you do something well, but you feel good. Adjective. I feel bad. I feel good. I feel tired. Whatever. You feel adjective. Okay. All right. But overall, okay, very good. You're trying to do some more complicated things, and you use modals. Would. I noticed a couple different sentences. You used would in a different way. Okay. Again, I'll leave you with that. Trying to do difficult things, even if you mess it up, is going to be rewarded, actually, in IELTS. All right, I hope you picked up some pointers. I'm over time. I'll be right back in just a minute or two here on Verbling to join you for round 2, question 2, a little bit different than this one. I'll be back. Thank you very much, everybody.